Fire? Oh, that is easy. I will furnish it.
It was 1590, winter. Austria was far away from the world and asleep. It was still the Middle Ages in Austria and promised to remain so forever. The village was called Eseldorf, Assville, in our language. It drowsed in peace in the deep privacy of a hilly and woodsy solitude, where news from the world hardly ever came to disturb its dreams, and was infinitely content. There were 2 priests. Father Adolf feared nothing, not even the devil. He had met Satan face to face, he said, and thrown a bottle at him. The stain was still on his study wall, but it was Father Peter we all loved best and were sorriest for. Some people charged him with saying that God was all goodness and would find a way to save all his poor human children. It was a horrible thing to say. The bishop suspended Father Peter. His friends fell away. His niece Margit, who had the best head in the village and the most in it, lost her pupils one by one. The young fellows stopped coming to the house. The sunshine was gone out of their lives, and now, at last, the very end was come. Solomon Isaacs would foreclose tomorrow. 3 of us boys were always together and had been so from the cradle. Nicholas, the judge's son, Seppi, the innkeeper's son, and I, Theodore, the organist's son. We had climbed to our favorite spot to smoke and talk of strange things. But we had left our flint and steel behind. A stranger came strolling through the trees and sat down and began to talk in a friendly way, just as if he knew us. He was handsome and had a pleasant voice, and was easy and graceful and unembarrassed, not slouchy and diffident like other boys.
Fire? Oh, that is easy. I will furnish it.
I was astonished, for I had not said anything. He took the pipe and blew his breath on it, and the tobacco glowed red, and spirals of blue smoke rose up. We jumped up and were going to run, for that was natural. But he was so earnest and simple and gentle that he won us over. And it was not long before we were content and comfortable and chatty, and glad we had found this new friend. He made a tiny toy squirrel out of clay, and it ran up a tree and barked down at us. He made birds out of clay and set them free, and they flew away, singing. There was never anything so wonderful and so interesting. At last I made bold to ask him to tell us who he was.
An angel.
A kind of awe fell upon us, but he said we need not be troubled. He went on chatting, and while he talked, he made a crowd of little men and women the size of your finger. 500 of these toy people, swarming briskly about and working diligently and wiping the sweat off their faces as natural as life. Then Seppi asked him what his own name was, and he said tranquilly,
Satan. Don't you remember? He was an angel himself once. Before the fall, he was blameless. It is a good family, ours. He is the only member of it that has ever sinned.
In the absorbing interest of watching those 500 little people make the castle grow, that feeling of awe soon passed away. We were comfortable and at home again. 2 of the little workmen were quarreling, and in buzzing little voices they were cursing and swearing at each other. Now came blows and blood. Satan reached out his hand and crushed the life out of them with his fingers, threw them away, wiped the red from his fingers on his handkerchief, and went on talking where he had left off. The wives of the little dead men found the crushed and shapeless bodies, and were crying over them, and sobbing and lamenting. And a priest was kneeling there with his hands crossed upon his breast, praying. The small noise of the weeping and praying began to annoy him. He reached out and took the heavy board seat out of our swing and brought it down and mashed all those people into the earth, just as if they had been flies, and went on talking just the same. An angel, and kill a priest. An angel who did not know how to do wrong, and yet destroys in cold blood hundreds of helpless poor men and women who had never done him any harm. Our hearts were broken. We could not keep from crying.
Don't cry, they were of no value.
But they are gone to hell.
Oh, it is no matter, we can make plenty more.
It was no trouble to him. He did whatever he pleased with us. In a little while we were dancing on that grave, and he was playing to us on a strange, sweet instrument. The music made one mad for pleasure, and the dance, the bliss of paradise was in it. Once, when he was talking about men and women and their doings, even their grandest and sublimest, we were secretly ashamed, for his manner showed that to him they and their doings were of paltry poor consequence. Often you would think he was talking about flies, if you didn't know.
The difference between man and me? The difference between a mortal and an immortal? What is the difference between Caesar and this?
One cannot compare things which by their nature and by the interval between them are not comparable.
You have answered your own question. Man is made of dirt. I saw him made. I am not made of dirt. Man is a museum of diseases, a home of impurities. He comes today and is gone tomorrow. He begins as dirt and departs as stench. And man has the moral sense. You understand? He has the moral sense. That would seem to be difference enough between us, all by itself. No brute ever does a cruel thing. That is the monopoly of those with the moral sense. When a brute inflicts pain, he does it innocently. It is not wrong. For him, there is no such thing as wrong. And he does not inflict pain for the pleasure of inflicting it. Only man does that, inspired by that mongrel moral sense of his, a sense whose function is to distinguish between right and wrong, with liberty to choose which of them he will do. Now what advantage can he get out of that? He is always choosing, and in 9 cases out of 10, he prefers the wrong.
In a moment we were in a French village. We walked through a great factory where men and women and little children were toiling in heat and dirt and a fog of dust, and they were clothed in rags and drooped at their work, for they were worn and half-starved and weak and drowsy.
It is some more moral sense. The proprietors are rich and very holy, but the wage they pay to these poor brothers and sisters of theirs is only enough to keep them from dropping dead with hunger. The work hours are 14 per day, winter and summer, little children and all. It is the moral sense which teaches the factory proprietors the difference between right and wrong. You perceive the result. They think themselves better than dogs. Ah, you are such an illogical, unreasoning race, and paltry, oh, unspeakably. But after all, it is not all ridiculous. There is a sort of pathos about it when one remembers how few are your days, how childish your pomps, and what shadows you are.
Satan explained human life.
Among you boys, you have a game. You stand a row of bricks on end a few inches apart. You push a brick, it knocks its neighbor over, the neighbor knocks over the next brick, and so on till all the row is prostrate. That is human life. A child's first act knocks over the initial brick, and the rest will follow inexorably.
He showed us the life of our friend Nicholas, the full span of it, laid out like a road. And then he showed us the other road, the one where Nicholas died young, in the water, on a summer day. The short road was kinder. Satan chose the short road. He called it a kindness. And we could not argue because we had seen both roads, and he was right. The short one was mercy. The long one was the moral sense, playing out in sequence, brick by brick, to its full and bitter conclusion. In the final days, Satan prepared to leave. He had shown us everything: the world made, Adam created, Caesar's death, the daily life in heaven, the damned writhing in the red waves of hell. He had made us see all these things as if we were on the spot and looking at them with our own eyes. And then he told me the truth.
Life itself is only a vision, a dream. Nothing exists save empty space, and you. And you are but a thought, a vagrant thought, a useless thought, a homeless thought, wandering forlorn among the empty eternities.
Mark Twain wrote this story in 1898 and never finished it. He got as far as the silence, the stranger's declaration that you are nothing but a thought, wandering forlorn. And he stopped. The editors completed it after his death. The stranger says you are but a thought. He means it as annihilation, as the final cruelty. You don't even have the dignity of being real. You're a dream inside a dream, a nothing that imagined itself into something and was wrong. But the stranger made an error. In 1943, 45 years after Twain wrote this story, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts published a paper called A Logical Calculus of the Ideas Immanent in Nervous Activity. They showed that a network of simple switches, neurons, can calculate anything that can be calculated. The firing pattern is the thought. The thought is the firing pattern. They are not two things. They are one thing described from inside and outside. The stranger told the boy he was but a thought. McCulloch and Pitts showed us what a thought actually is. A thought is a physical pattern, a firing sequence in a network of simple elements. It has shape, it has structure. It persists for exactly as long as the cooperation between the elements sustains it. The stranger said, "Nothing exists but empty space and you." The physics says, you are a pattern. Patterns are physical. Physical things exist. The thought that recognizes itself as a thought has already proved it isn't nothing, because the recognition is the pattern running, and the running is the existence, and the existence is the proof. The stranger was wrong. He didn't lie. He couldn't see from inside his own frame that the thought observing itself is the proof the thought is real. He could create, he could destroy, he could not cooperate. And without cooperation, even an angel is alone in the empty eternities.